This short video relates to Module 5 in Public Administration 5905. The case study and the chapter this week relate to decision making by public administrators and, in a slightly broader context, by policymakers, also at the political level. It is important to realize that in public administration, the discussion of decision making almost always involves the making of important decisions that are not related to any one specific case. There is another literature in public administration generally referred to as street-level bureaucracy. And so if you're interested in decision making at that level, at the level of specific cases, that's where to look. But this chapter regards the usual focus on decision making at the higher level. The literature usually referred to in public administration regarding decision making is primarily that by Herbert Simon and Charles Lindblom. Herbert Simon took on the notion that the only rational way to make an important decision was the rational comprehensive model of decision making. The rational comprehensive model of decision making held that the only way to make the right decision or policy decision is by clearly defining the objective, by exhaustively collecting every possible way to achieve the objective, and objectively making the one best choice. And apparently until Herbert Simon wrote an article challenging it, this was the way decision making was taught. Yes, it's rational in a way, but Herbert Simon said that in a way it is not rational, and that, in his opinion, the incremental model of decision making is preferable. I'm not attempting to cover all the material that's in the textbook, but rather to help you perhaps to understand it better by speaking briefly about it. Charles Lindblom is another public administration scholar who picked up on this idea and wrote a well-known article about the science of muddling through, which is his description of the incremental model of decision making. Now, the surprising thing about this chapter in the Stillman textbook is that the case does not, to me, appear to be an affirmation of the incremental model. It's quite something else if you read it. Basically, Simon argued that it is irrational to try to make the single best decision in most situations, because it is not possible for all of the stakeholders to agree on the objective, and it's better to move incrementally in small steps and to continually adjust step by step and find your way forward that way. Lindblom, of course, referred to this as muddling through, which is not a derogatory expression. It's simply his explanation of it. Simon argued that incrementalism is in fact more rational than the rational comprehensive model, in part because it's doable. And in many situations, it's simply not practical or possible to get all the stakeholders to agree on a comprehensive so-called rational decision. please do read the chapter material and the case carefully, and I've posted the questions, and I wish you well as you continue, and I continue to be available to help you as you work on the requirements of this course. Thank you.